So this is going to be an instructional / overview video of the Laika Ecovip 3019. This is a 2025 model. First of all, we're going to go around the external of the vehicle and then we will go into the habitation and cab area. First things first, I'm going to show you how to open the bonnet. And the reason for this is just in case you obviously need one, access to the bonnet area, as well as two, if you need to jump start the vehicle for any reason. So to get access to the bonnet area, if you come round to the passenger door and then you open the passenger door, you'll see just here at the side of the dash is the bonnet release catch. All you need to do is pull that down once and that will then release. As you can see, I have now got the bonnet open. Like I said, the main reason for this is just to show you the terminal points in case you need to jump start this vehicle for any reason. So down here, under this cap down here, zoom in for you, that is going to be your positive terminal point. You just have to lift this black cap up. So that's going to be your positive terminal point, and then your negative point is just going to be this bolt here. That's going to be your negative terminal point in case you need to jump start the vehicle for any reason. And then in front of the driver, underneath the bonnet, is obviously your screen wash fill in the corner there. So now we are going to carry on around the external of the vehicle and we'll start on the passenger side. As you can see, this vehicle does come with an awning. We will send a separate link on the email how to set up and use the awning. So the first compartment we come to on the passenger side is going to be your diesel and AdBlue fill. That is just next door to the passenger door. So here we have got your diesel fill, and on your diesel fill you need to use your vehicle blade key to get access to this, and then below it we've got your AdBlue fill as well. The next compartment we come to, you've got storage locker. We have got storage underneath the double technical floor, so obviously you could put skis in here. And then in this locker we do have, at the top we got a red master power switch. So this, if you turn this off here, that will turn off the power to the 12-volt system in the motorhome. Here we have all your 12-volt fuses for the motorhome. This black valve here is going to be your frost protect valve. So this is for the boiler. You will need to open and shut this, obviously shutting it to fill up the boiler with water. And then we have got a light in here as well, which has got a switch on top there. That is going to be your battery charger. So one thing on your frost protect valve for the boiler, you need to shut this if you want to fill up and prime your boiler. So obviously you can use your hot water, or if you want to open this to drain the water out the boiler for winter. Basically what a frost protect valve does is when it hits 3 degrees, this valve will trigger automatically to protect your boiler. So if you've left this in storage and forgot to empty your boiler, if you've not triggered this valve, it will trigger at 3 degrees or less and then empty all the content out of your boiler. That is just going to protect your boiler. But if you want to fill your boiler up, what we need to do is twist this diamond valve on top, like so, and then we need to push this blue button in. If we push this in and that stays in, that means I can now fill up my boiler with water and no water will leak underneath the vehicle. If I want to drain my boiler manually for winter, or if I'm not using it for a few weeks, all I need to do is twist this diamond valve on top. Basically that will trigger this button to stick out. That means all the water out the boiler will drain directly underneath the motorhome. If I try pushing this button in, it won't stay in because the valve is triggered, and obviously you need to turn this diamond valve on top to actually close the valve completely. Next we have your boiler flue. So this is obviously when you are going to be on gas. So this is where your fumes exhaust from. So keep this clear at all times, as well as it does get quite hot. Next, in this locker, we do have your LPG gas locker. So in here, we can fit 2 6-kilogram tanks. And then obviously we've got your regulator up there. As you can see, it's connected onto the gas hose. Just so you know, on this gas hose, it has got a purger. So obviously when you are connected to the tank, the first time you turn the tanks on, you do need to press this in, and that will purge the gas through the hose, the regulator, and then obviously you can use it. How these lockers shut, you just push it and then twist, and basically you need to use the habitation key. I've got one here. So you put the habitation key in, quarter turn, and then push that in. That is completely locked and closed. If that handle is sticking out, that means that the locker is in effect unlocked, but still wouldn't swing open because you've obviously twisted the lock. Here we've got obviously your external shower point, hot and cold. So that is just a quick release connection on there. Next we've got some ventilation here, top and bottom for your fridge freezer. So keep that clear at all times. Next we have external barbecue point. So this is a gas point for obviously if you're having a barbecue outside or anything else. You just need to get a quick release connection which clips onto there, and then obviously you can have a barbecue externally. Next is going to be your fresh water tank fill. So on this, all you need to do is use the habitation key, take this cap off. You just need to put the hose pipe in, and when the water starts to come back out of this hole, that means your fresh water tank is completely full. Obviously anything we are filling, we need to make sure the valves are shut. So the fresh water drain valve is actually internal, which we'll get to. As you can see, I've got the garage door locker open. Ample of space in here. So we've got a rail down here, so you can tie things down on each side. We've got LED light, and there is a switch on each side. There's a switch on both sides of the garage to turn on the LED light. In here we have got some more storage. So you can, you've got more storage under there. And then your garage doors are on gas struts. On the driver's side of the habitation now, so this is the driver's side of the garage. So here we've got another light switch for the garage area. Below that, this is going to be your grey waste. Basically this is going to be your this is your controls here to obviously open and shut the grey waste valve. So this is done electrically. Obviously pushing down should open the valve, and pushing up should close the valve. You have to press and hold while the valve opens. Obviously below this we've got 240 volt mains hookup, mains plug socket. Obviously if you are connected to mains to shore, then obviously this will work. Here we have got obviously ventilation from your boiler, so obviously the garage is heated as well. Next we have your external power. This is where you'll connect onto a campsite for obviously internal power. This is where you do connect onto to obviously charge the leisure batteries, as well as give you 240 volt sockets internally. Next locker we have your toilet cassette. So on your toilet cassette, to take this out, you need to lift this orange tab up here. So if you lift this up and then pull the cassette towards you, that then releases it. If I want to now empty / clean my cassette, all I need to do is this orange nozzle. I just need to twist it out to the left, take this grey cap off, and then when I'm emptying it, if I tilt up, if I put my thumb on this button at the top, this lets air into the top of the cassette so all the fluids flow out a lot faster. Other than that, you can actually open the toilet cassette blade and obviously clean internally with a hose pipe and then shut that blade back up. And then putting your cassette back into place, you just need to align it, slide it in, and just make sure that this orange tab is down secure so your toilet cassette is not going to move while in motion. This is lockable as well. Behind this habitation door here, we have one final locker, which is the other side of the belly locker, as you can see all the way through there. You can remove this as well to obviously give you more storage height, or obviously you could use this for your boots. And then you do have another light switch here so you can turn on and off. Next, we are going to go into the habitation area. We have on the habitation door, you got a blackout screen. Here we have a fly screen. On your fly screen, you just need to be careful with this. Just be gentle really, because it is obviously delicate. And then we do have an electric step that is controlled by this button here. So just press it and it will then go in. Also under here you have a welcome light when you trigger the step, like so. So now we are in the habitation area. Directly above the habitation door, on the left hand side here, we have your Truma control panel. On the email you'll get a separate link on the Truma control panel, and the Truma control panel is for your heating and hot water. Here is your Truma control panel thermostat, so this obviously detects the heat because it is thermostat controlled. And then here we have your 12 volt control panel for the habitation. So the top left is your on and off for the master. This is touchscreen, so you just press and hold and it will shut down. Currently I have got it on. The next one underneath, the battery one, will give you your levels on your leisure battery and your habitation, and then this will give you your vehicle battery level. And if you touch it again, it will go back to, this is like the generic home screen. Obviously you've got your habitation battery level, obviously external temperature, internal, and obviously your fresh water level there. The next one on the left, lower down than the battery, this is going to give you your levels of your fresh water and grey waste. So this one here is your fresh water on the left. On the right hand side where it's got an outlet at the bottom, that is your grey waste. So this will give you obviously your percentage. If I press it again, obviously it will go back to its home screen. On the top right, you have got your internal habitation lights. If I have actually switched the master switch off at the light, then obviously these won't turn all the lights back on. And the next one is going to be your water pump. On your water pump, it is actually triggered by a micro switch in the tap. But on your water pump, you want to make sure that you have got water in your tank. Because if the tap is open slightly, the micro switch will obviously run the pump, and obviously if it's running dry, you could potentially burn out the motor, which you don't want to do. So I turn it off and on from here. When obviously if it's not being used, just turn it off. Here is going to be your external awning light slash porch light. So as you can see, the angles, top one is internal habitation light. This one on the side is obviously your external light. And then AUX is obviously giving the USB sockets, 12 volt sockets, power, so you can switch them on and off as well. So that is your control panel for the habitation. In this vehicle we have got a TV bracket, and to release this TV bracket you just pull this bar down, and then obviously on your other hand is pull this TV bracket out. like so. That swivels out like so, and then it is quite stiff at first because it is new, and then if you push that arm down and push it in, it will lock back into place. Directly above that, you've got obviously USB sockets. You've got a Type C socket up there, 12 volt socket, and a TV aerial. The aerial won't be connected. This will be just pre-wired at factory because they pre-wire it into the walls. So obviously if you want to get an aerial, you can obviously get one fitted like a max view. And then lower down we have obviously got light switches dotted around. Now we'll go over the cab area. So on your cab, obviously we've got multifunction steering wheel. We've got handbrake down here on the right hand side, manual handbrake. We have got, obviously this is an automatic gearbox. Got your infotainment media there, and then this switch here, this is a power switch to turn on the media, so you can listen to the radio while parked up. The only downside about this is if you leave this on, you will run your vehicle battery flat. So if you leave this on and forget that this is switched on, the radio will be playing, and then obviously your vehicle battery will run flat. So just be cautious with this, because you need to turn this switch on for the media to turn on in general when you are driving in motion. So when you are stationary, obviously parked up, you need to make sure that you do switch this switch off, so then obviously it's not draining your vehicle battery. To swivel the driver and passenger seat, you have a trigger pull arm here. You just need to pull this out and then swivel the seat. Same on the passenger side, obviously I've got that swiveled already. And then directly above here we have two sensor settings. The one on the right will beep and give you a red light when the electric step is still out. So if you start the engine up, this will light up, and then obviously you've got comfortable. All you need to do is press and hold that button and it will bring the step in. And then the other one is obviously a window sensor. So obviously if one of the windows is still open or slightly open, then obviously this will show here as well. This is for when you start the engine. We have got storage in the floor, but these two here, this is for your secondary leisure battery. If you want to fit another battery other than that, you can obviously use it as storage. And then this one in here has had the battery fitted. So obviously you can, like I say, fit two batteries, or obviously just use one. Next, we'll go over the kitchen area. So obviously, to open these cupboards and drawers, push these handle in and then they will slide out. And then to lock it, just push the handle back in, and when it's flush, that means it's locked. We have, obviously you've got two sinks in here, and they're quite deep sinks. And then we do have your tap as well. So this is hot and cold tap, and it is a pull-out tap as well. So you could probably use this and put this out the window and have a shower without connecting up. On your tap, if you want to prime your system, what you need to do is we're going to prime the water system ready to use. And that, what we need to do is fill up the freshwater tank. So first thing we need to do is close all the valves in the motorhome. So we need to close the freshwater valve, otherwise the water will just drain straight out of the vehicle. We need to close the boiler frost protect valve, that black valve, and then obviously we need to close the grey waste valve which is in the garage. Just so you know while we're on this, I'll show you in a minute though, but down here is going to be your valve for your fresh water. So now we've shut all the valves, I'm going to fill up my fresh water tank. So I fill the fresh water tank up, And once that is full, I'm going to turn my 12 volt control panel on. Then I'll turn my pump on the control panel. And once I've turned the pump on, if I open the tap on the cold side, what will happen is it will start purging and obviously bring water through from the fresh water tank through the tap. When you get a steady flow on the cold side, you can twist it to the hot side. And on the hot side, it may take a minute or so longer. The reason for this, it will fill up your boiler first. Just so you know, your boiler holds around 10 litres of your fresh water. Once you get a steady flow on the hot side, that means your pipework and your boiler is all primed, ready to use when you need. The only thing you do need to do is obviously if you do want hot water, you need to turn this on by the Truma control panel to heat up, which you will see a link in the email just on the Truma control panel. Here we have a 3-ring gas burner. One safety thing we do highlight is this glass cover here. It's just to keep this up after cooking. The reason for this is because of the temperature difference, or especially if you've got the window open, obviously the cold air is hitting the glass, and then you could potentially shatter it because obviously this is hot and the glass is still cold. Obviously we have got your controls for the burners, so you press and hold this in and then use the igniter here. You will have to hold this in while igniting, while the gas is coming through. Hold it in for about 30 seconds. On the stove they have a thermocouple, so it needs to heat up first before you release. And then obviously this is the same with your oven and grill. You do have a pull-out heat shield here for your oven and grill, so it's not going to burn or heat up obviously these controls here. Here we have obviously a rack here, so you can buy some more of these, get a rack hanging for obviously utensils or whatever you need, obviously tea towel. Directly above that we have an extractor fan which is controlled up here. You've got 240 volt socket there as well and a light switch. To open these cupboards, all the cupboards, you need to push it in, pull it out, sorry, and it releases. So if you pull it out gently, it releases this mechanism here, and then to close it, it will close automatically because it's on soft close hinges, as you can see at the top, like so. So pull it once, let it go back in, and then pull all the way, and that releases. We have a drop down bed on this vehicle. To drop down, all you need to do is this button here. Make sure your 12 volt system's on, and then drop down the bed. Obviously make sure that no one is underneath, especially sat down on that side. And then obviously you will have a bed ladder which connects onto here, so then obviously you can climb up. You have got a privacy curtain here as well, and then obviously there is LED lighting up there, and them lights will have a USB socket on there as well, so you can charge your phones. One thing is on your bed, on the drop down bed anyway, is take your pillows off. You could potentially blow the fuse because it's not going to hit the trigger point because of the pillars. You can leave the blankets on, but they do recommend to take the pillars off. Down here in the floor, so this is your fresh water tank internally. So this black knob here, this is what I'm going to use to open and close the fresh water tank. Underneath this removable panel, you can see the stickers here, so this is just giving you an indication of how this valve works. So obviously to close the valve, turn it all the way to the right 2 or 3 times. That will completely shut the valve, so then when I fill up it's not going to drain out. If I want to empty all the water out completely, twist the valve 2 times full 360. So this black valve, turn it 2 times. That will drain all the water out of the fresh water tank. And if I want to travel with 20 litres of water, I just need to, when it's closed obviously the valve, just turn it 3/4 of the way. That will then drain it, obviously give you a rough 20 litres in your fresh water tank. So that is when you're travelling. Obviously if you want to stop to have a brew, you have got some water, or if you obviously need to wash up, etc. One thing I forgot in the kitchen area is obviously we have got your fridge freezer. This is a three-way fridge freezer. To turn this on, just press and hold, and that will then turn on. And basically you've got a few settings on this. To go through these settings, this square one here, press and hold and it will flash once. And now I can go through these settings here. Like so. So we've got A, which is flashing, so A is automatically select. So most people leave it on A because it will select the best source it has available. The next one is plug socket, so that is when I'm connected at campsite on mains hookup. The next one is running off your leisure battery, but basically that is actually running when the engine's running. It won't run on the leisure battery when you're off grid. The engine needs to be on for this, because the engine is alternator in effect, charging up the leisure battery. I'm just trying to go through these settings before it keeps saving them. And then the last one is gas. So obviously if I'm off grid now, I will be on gas on its own. Most people leave it on A. And then the next one, it asks you for your temperature. So obviously halfway or full, wherever you desire, depending on how much you fill the fridge. A lot of people recommend halfway is enough because they are quite powerful, these fridges. When I'm happy with my temperature, just press this square again and it's selected. So now I'm on A and I've selected my temperature. If I plug into mains hookup, it will automatically go to the plug socket. If I turn the engine on, it will automatically go to the battery symbol. And then obviously if I turn the gas on, it will ignite on gas. Just on your fridge though, just to keep in mind, on your gas, if you've had your engine running, when you turn the engine off, this won't automatically go on gas straight away. It leaves about a 15-minute delay. The reason for this is just in case you pull into a petrol station, then obviously the fridge freezer is not obviously using the igniter to try and light the fridge. To turn this off, just press and hold the off button and it will then shut down. You have got storage above. Got some light switches here. Got pull out storage. Another drawer here. And then we have obviously got your twin singles, or you can actually make this up into obviously practically a king/queen size. You got storage here, and then just below you have got a pull out step, some more storage inside it, and then obviously you've got two connections here which are locking that into place. Like I said, that is two singles, and then you can get it to make up into obviously a larger bed space. That is an extra though to get that package, depending obviously which package you have purchased from Laika. Next, in this cupboard here under one of the single beds, we have obviously a hanging rack which is pull out, and then down here we have your mains breaker. So if you plug in at campsite or plug in at home, wherever you're plugging in to mains, if something trips, you just need to come here and check this. If this hasn't tripped, then look at your campsite post. 9 times out of 10, it is actually the campsite that has tripped, because they do reduce the power they give you. But like I say, you will have to check in there as well, in case obviously you do have no 240 volt power. And the last thing is in obviously your shower and toilet area. That door is a partition divider. We have got your toilet here, so you just twist this to use. Directly below that we have got your this is your blade here to open and shut. Basically that's opening the toilet cassette. So obviously when you're not in use, shut the valve, otherwise you will potentially get smells coming back up. Above here, the blue button is your freshwater flush. So this is going to use some of your fresh water out of the tank and flush obviously the toilet. And then this symbol at the side, what looks like a toilet cassette, this symbol is an indication when your toilet cassette is full. So this will light up orange/red when the toilet cassette is full. All you need to do is empty it when you next can, and basically when it's empty it will reset itself. The light switch in here is just here. Obviously got your basin tap and then your shower here. To create your shower, all you need to do is push this in here, and that will then swing round. You need to make sure the toilet is swiveled as well. Then this meets on a magnetic clamp up there, and then obviously this creates your shower. And then obviously in this curtain here, when it slides across, it's got some magnetic adapters on it. So obviously the shower curtain is obviously set up there like so. And then obviously you can use the shower as well like so. And there is a strap for this lower down to strap the shower curtain as well. Once finished, obviously you just need to slide this back into place, and it will then clip into place like so. Above we have got a dry rack, so you can obviously hang any wet clothes or anything in the shower area to obviously dry anything out. So that is the instructional / overview video complete on the Laika Ecovip 3019. If you have any more questions, leave a comment below, or you can always drop us an email or give us a call.